Welcome to the unofficial YouTube channel for Artistas de Color Unidos. My name is Kiara Wynn. I am the CEO, brand president, owner, etc. of the website, and today I will be discussing my experience at the Association for JOTERIA Arts Activism and Scholarship Conference, also known as AJAAS, that I participated in up in Portland, Oregon this past October. If you didn't know, Artistas de Color Unidos is a website that's for young and or emerging artists of color to submit their work. We have a website and an Instagram that will be linked at the end of this video if you keep watching. That's essentially our gist. So let's get into my story. So I have some key notes here on my phone just in case I didn't remember anything. I didn't really think I'd be able to tell you guys everything off the top of my head. I'm going to start with my process of submitting and then go into the actual conference and like good experiences I had while there. Yeah. So basically in about maybe April 2019, I was in my race and social justice class and my professor told us about AJAAS and he recommended that we submit because they were accepting workshop submissions, academic essay submissions, etc. I decided that I should apply. You know what? Why not? You know, maybe this would be a good experience. If I don't get it, I don't get it in. But if I apply, you know, at least I did it, and that seemed like something that was really cool to me. So I came up with this poetry workshop that was essentially, the title was Not Meant to Survive, Navigating Your Identity as a Person of Color Through Poetry. Essentially, the gist was that the title was inspired by one of Audre Lorde's pieces. I can't remember the title of the piece right now, but in it she says something about how people of color, gay women, especially black gay women, were not meant to survive, and then yet we still have, and I just found that quote like very inspiring. I'll try to put it in down here after I look it up. But essentially I applied, and then in this past summer, maybe like June, right after I got out of school, I received a notification saying that I was accepted into those workshops. Of course, I'm super excited. This is my first academic conference. I've never attended nor presented an academic conference, which was a very like exciting, interesting concept for me. Yeah. To go get my little program from the conference so I could tell you guys about the workshops that I took with people, the ones that I really enjoyed, and then I'll probably also tag all of those Instagrams, etc. down below in the description, so make sure you check those out once the video's over. So essentially, I spent, you know, June through September prepping for the conference, making sure that I had everything, to go buy formal business clothes, which was very cool, like very fun for me. I never really had to do anything that required me wearing business clothes, but you know, I really recommend it. It's very empowering. So the first night was Thursday night, October 8th. I had flown up there, no, I'm sorry, October 10th. I had flown up there on the 9th, just so I could get there before anything started. I just wanted to make sure my flight was never delayed or anything. So Thursday, October 10th, there was a screening of La Serenata by, hold on, let's see, written by Ernesto J. Martinez and directed by Adelina Anthony, and it was essentially a short film surrounding, the experiences of LGBTQ plus people of color, specifically it follows the story of a young Mexican boy and his process of feelings for one of his friends, romantic feelings for one of his male friends, and it goes through the process of that. Like, I highly recommend watching it. It was very moving, and we got to hear the direct, both Ernesto and Adelina, you know, speak about it, as well as the young actor. His name was Malik, I believe. Speak about it. That was really interesting. I was super excited. I had my badge, you know, my official little badge that was like Kiara Wynn, University of Southern California, and all that, which was super cool. And then, so Friday was the day that the conference actually really, quote unquote, started. And then we had we met for breakfast, and that was nice. I believe that I went to, I don't think I went to the first session of workshops, but I did, oh wait, yeah, okay, so I went to Ernesto Roca's workshop titled Storytelling is Liberation, a 7-Generation Story Arc. Ernesto Roca is also known as Undocubay on Instagram. It was basically him talking about his experience living as an undocumented man in a gay, undocumented Latino man in America, essentially. I know I really found his story inspiring just through activism, and I really look up to people who are activists. They're kind of my version of celebrities, so it was very cool for me to take that workshop with him. It was super interesting. And then and then I also went to a decolonizing mental health workshop with Adrian Garcia. It was just a really nice outlet. You know, we had to basically make art and the topic was feelings of safety, of security. Essentially, it was just really nice, outlet, de-stressing kind of thing for me personally. Yeah, and then Friday night we had this thing called Noche de JOTERIA. It was essentially a performance night. Actually, I had my professor of that race and social justice class that I mentioned earlier, he had reached out to me in maybe late August to ask if I wanted to perform this piece that I had written for a final project for his class last year at La Noche de JOTERIA. And I was like, yeah, well, at first I was kind of considering it because I've never performed any of my poetry in a public space besides in front of small clubs in high school, or the project in front of my classmates. So I was unsure at first, but I ended up saying yes, and I'm really glad that I did. I performed this piece titled A Poem for the Fallen Ones. It is a poem with a musical component. The piano piece was composed by a friend of mine, Eduardo Salgado, and it's a really powerful poem. It discusses mass shootings, although the focus is on school shootings and basically my anger with the American government refusing to do anything, refusing to listen to our peers, and also it expresses my hurt. I titled it A Poem for the Fallen Ones because it's also sort of a dedication to the ones that we have lost in mass shootings and school shootings. That's just how I saw it. It's a very emotional piece for me. I think it's another reason that I was kind of unsure about performing it because, I want to start crying in front of a bunch of people that I didn't know. Yeah, but I'm really glad that I did. I performed the piece, and I had this very riveting experience afterwards. I was approached by someone, and she said to me, she was like, wow, I really enjoyed your piece. And then she told me, she said, as a survivor of a school shooting, it means a lot. And it kind of struck me that, school shootings are so common that I have now met someone who is a survivor of a school shooting, but also that, my words can really resonate with someone, and, obviously the event that she had to go through that and resonate with my words should never have happened. But it was also very interesting to me. I really, something stuck with me about that experience of her telling me that, that is the goal, that my poetry can, resonate with people and, so people can feel, resonate with it. It can be, spread to people. I can reach people through it. That's essentially the point of, me publishing my writing. I don't know. I just, I've been thinking about this for a long time. Ever since that happened, it was very, eye-opening, I guess. yeah, I was just a very like intense, but not good, but I don't know, very just eye-opening experience, I guess. I still don't have the best words to form it, but yeah. So the next day, Saturday, that was the day that I had my presentation. I got to see, um, let's see, Univera and some, I forgot her name, Hennessy Gutierrez, I think, speak about her experiences, their experiences as trans women fighting for, as Latinx trans women fighting, for activism, fighting for the rights of, and then undocumented immigrants, all of that. It was very interesting. I also went to a workshop that was, I'm looking for the names. I'm sorry if I like pause in a lot of this video, but it was essentially, it was a Stitching Intentions and Self-Love into Our Creative Practice workshop facilitated by Kalkina Creations. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I don't know. I've always wanted to learn how to embroider. It sounded fun, so I did. I was terrible at it, but it was fun. And I still have a little piece. I don't know where it is right now. Otherwise, I would show it to you guys. But maybe once I finish it at the end of the year, maybe then you'll see what I worked on. Because I did find it really fun. I really want to finish the piece. And then I also went to a live podcast with Menudo los Domingos by Juan Espinoza and Omi McCadney, basically discussing like a bunch of topics. I came in a little late, but they were talking about a range of topics of like experiences, dating, etc., and popular culture and all of that. It was really interesting, and I like really enjoyed that experience. I'll put in a picture here from that, and then yeah. And then, so finally, we also watched a bunch of short films right after we had our lunch break. That was really cool. I don't know, I like seeing people put together their words. I don't know, I really like film, I guess. I don't know. It's always an interesting concept to me, like filmmakers and the way that the concepts played out. One that really stuck out to me was The New Frontier by Kanani Coaster. It was essentially like rewriting POC histories and contributions by, switching the tropes into, POC being the ones like taking back, everything that, white people stolen from them. I don't know, it really struck me, and the visuals were very strong. I really appreciate like film editing. I at one point considered being a film editor, so I really appreciated that aspect of it. And then finally, I had my workshop. I was actually kind of scared that nobody would show up to my workshop, but it turned out really good because I started thinking. So it was supposed to start at 4:35, and then I realized that no one was coming, and I started thinking, oh no, like I didn't think about the worst thing that could happen. The worst thing that could happen is that no one shows up to my workshop, and that would be sad and depressing, and then I would cry, But also the whole day, workshops have been running over, so finally a few people start showing up, and I get like 5 people total, and I'm just excited because it's my first conference. I've never presented. 5 people, that's like amazing. That was really cool. So I got to sit down with them, and we had a little discussion about, our experiences as POC, or like, navigating ourselves, our identities through the world. It was really interesting. We got into like some interesting topics in our short discussion. I used it as a way to facilitate, maybe feelings that would help with writing poetry about our experiences. But again, I made sure to tell them, if there's something else on your mind, like, don't feel pressured, in creative writing, like, it's creative writing, like, whatever. And then some people shared at the end. It was really, healing to have those people share their experiences, and I loved hearing what they had written. Super interesting. I met some great people. It was very like exciting for me, and like that's a huge accomplishment for me. I'm only 19, and I presented at the first academic conference I'd ever attended. That's a big it's like a really big thing to put on my record. I'm pretty sure I was the youngest presenter there, not to brag, but for me, that's a really cool feat, especially like this early in my career. Like, I'm only an undergrad, like that's insane. But it was so much fun. I think my workshop was probably one of the best parts of it, just because I really felt the support, and it was super nice to actually have people show up and be at this thing, and like it was kind of my first glimpse into like possibly teaching, I guess. I don't know, it was a very healing process. The entire weekend itself was extremely healing. Afterwards we had dinner, and I actually ended up re-encountering the girl from JOTERIA, because she was the roommate of someone who had attended my workshop. And at the end, I went up to her and the girl who was in my workshop, and I told the girl from Noche de Loteria, I was like, honestly, like, it meant a lot. Your words meant a lot to me. Like, it was very like empowering for me to hear that my words can affect someone. Obviously it was probably more empowering for her, but I just like when I was like, I just wanted to tell you that. And then she goes, yeah, like I really like appreciate that. And she asked me, she was like, can I give you a hug? And I was like, yeah. And like and we hugged, and it was this moment of healing. Like I've repeated that word a lot this whole time, but I really do think that was the point of the conference. It was really like empowering, healing, empowerment, healing, self-healing, self-love, etc. So make sure I didn't forget any points. Yeah. So that was basically my experience at the conference, I guess. It was so much fun. I just want to give a special shout out. I've kind of already done some on my Instagram, but it meant a lot to me, to Dr. Eddie Alvarez Jr. He was the professor that I mentioned in the beginning of this video, who I took a class with. He was the one who told us, obviously I would never have heard about AJAAS if it weren't for him. He is currently one of the co-chairs. So I never would have heard about it if not for him. I applied for the conference and I got in. He's honestly like a huge supporter for me. Like, I really appreciate him, and I don't attend that the university he teaches at anymore, but it meant a lot to me that like I felt a lot of support, and he's been a really good mentor for me. He actually wrote my letter of rec for USC, so yeah, I just wanted to give another shout out to him. It meant so much. That support means a lot to me. I see him as a really good mentor. I also would not have this brand if it were not for him. If he hadn't encouraged me to publish a poem for the Fallen Ones, it would, this Artistas de Color Unidos would not exist if it were not for him. It's just been very inspiring to have him as a professor, and I hope, I just hope that, I'm sure all of his other future classes will like understand what I'm saying. I don't know, it just meant a lot, and I'm kind of getting teary-eyed talking about this, but yeah, I just want to give a special little thanks. I got to see him while I was up there, and it was really nice, and like I really felt like supported and great. Yeah. So last is our little outro. Like I said in the beginning, this is an unofficial YouTube channel for Artistas de Color Unidos. I will be launching an official YouTube channel. Like, this channel will have like an official like introduction to our brand type of video. wait, down the line, get us to 300 followers on Instagram and I'll launch it. However, I really wanted to publish this video about my experience, and I just, it was, as it being such an important feat for me, I wanted to publish this video. So basically, I already mentioned that Artistas Colorinos is a website for young and or emerging artists of color, basically to submit their work. It was just launched in the summer of 2019. So we're still growing. She's still a baby. But it has grown a little bit. So if you'd like to submit your work or check us out, I will be linking our website in the description below. I will also be tagging our Instagram and our Twitter up here. Yeah, so subscribe to this channel, I guess, so you can stay updated when we do officially launch us. Subscribe to our website. You can subscribe at the bottom of any tab on our website. Just put your email in the little subscribe box, and boom, you'll get our monthly newsletters. Our monthly newsletters feature all sorts of things related to our brand, including our little Artist of the Week feature that we do every Wednesday on our Instagram. So check us out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me talk about my little experience. Again, my name is Kiara. I am the brand president of Artistas Colorinos. See you on the next video, I guess.